Greetings everybody, this is Leviathan here, and today we've got an awesome guide for you to start off your Season 14 on the right foot. We're going to help you get leveled from 1 to 70 in a jiffy. Hopefully it'll be the fastest that you've ever done it. In previous times we've had some tips and tricks here and there on the channel, but this will be your one-stop shop for all of it. And of course keep in mind that Season 14 is kicking off this Friday, June 15th, so you don't want to miss that. Make sure you got it on your calendar. And in any case, we're going to go ahead and get started. So as you can see on screen, there is an image that I've put together with all of the tips and overview of everything that we're going to cover in this video today. If you want this, there will be a link to it in the video description, along with anything else that we touch and showcase in this video. There will be links to those things in the video description, so don't worry if you missed something, you can go ahead and check that out. In general though, I'm going to leave that up and take a step back. We're going to talk about your potential options for leveling just from the outset, before the season even starts, right? You might want to plan to get a group together, or maybe you're doing it solo. Maybe you're going to participate in the solo self-found league that we put together. Maybe you just like being solo, or you can't find a group. Solo's not that bad. In fact, it can actually be one of the fastest ways to get to 70 if you know what you're doing. Massacre bonuses are what you're after here, and that's going to be when you're in adventure mode in some of these really dense zones like your Fields of Misery, your Ruins of Sescheron, Eternal Woods, a whole bunch of different zones for that. You're going to go ahead and just chain these massacre bonuses together, try and keep killing, so you can build that up and get those multipliers for experience. Some of the best classes at this would be like a Witch Doctor, because they can just dot everything with their haunt early on and keep that massacre bonus going. Some classes aren't that great at it, so it depends kind of on both your experience with the strategy, if you're going to practice it, maybe even before the season starts, and even what class you're going to go with. So keep that in mind. If you're in a group, which is traditionally what a lot of people do, you know, it's that great opportunity to get everybody, get the whole gang together on Friday night, start off up at the same foot, and, you know, party with the boys or the girls. So usually a lot of people will be in groups, and groups are great because you got the strength in numbers buff, and that's just going to give you extra experience when you're killing things in a group setting. And even some social benefits, right? So you might have a friend that's also playing the same class as you, you're both on Demon Hunters, you can swap items back and forth as someone outgrows the usefulness of one, or if you just want to be nice to each other. And even if you're playing, you know, classes that share the same main stat, maybe you have a monk and a Demon Hunter, you're trading dex items, things like that. And even circumstances where maybe you're unlucky, someone else in your party's super lucky, so that person can help carry the group forward on the way to 70 and kind of circumvent your unluckiness. So there's a whole bunch of things to keep in mind whether you go solo or group, but in general I would say solo has that potential to be super quick. Like you can probably find some videos on YouTube of witch doctors getting to 70 in less than 2 hours, just zooming. And groups have the potential to be quite quick too. I would say they kind of can get those average results though, like maybe somewhere around that 3-hour mark, sometimes faster, sometimes slower. So that is something that you should figure out before you get going. But otherwise, we're going to go ahead and start in on the specific tips. And I will go ahead and let you know that you should save this week your challenge rift. Do not do the challenge rift until you've created your seasonal character, because you want to make sure that that cash will make it to your seasonal side of your account. And the best way to guarantee is to make sure the seasonal character is made. If you're in a group, you can still do the challenge rift together as a group. Just make sure that you don't do it before Friday night this week when the season has begun. The reason for this, and we're going to have a video to help you out, by the way, if it's not live on the channel already by the time you're seeing this, there will be a video that goes over the challenge rift, how to get through it, everything that you need, tips and tricks there. We got tips and tricks for everything. So make sure that you're sticking to the channel, subscribing to the channel so you don't miss any content. But the reason that these challenge rifts are going to be so awesome to help you out early on is because they come with a gang of awesome stuff. You can get gold out of there, as you see on screen, 4.6 million gold, 475 blood shards, which we'll get to in just a moment as to why that's important. A bunch of reusable parts, crafting mats, veiled crystals, arcane dust, the bounty legendary materials, and some DBs, Death's Breath. The main thing we want to focus on at the moment, though, is the blood shards. And the reason those are important is because one of the first things you'll do is get that challenge rift done, then you're going to create a game on Master, and we'll talk about why we do it on Master, but then you're going to open up that challenge rift cache, get all those rewards, scoop them up, and then look to gamble something that's beneficial to your class. What I have on screen here is the pocket guide created by FST, one of the members of our Diablo 3 community. Shoutouts to them. I'm assuming it'll probably be updated for Season 14 because they've been doing this for quite some time now. But this spreadsheet in particular is great because it shows you what you can gamble at level 1 on whatever character or class you're planning to be and what impactful results that you can get. So let's take the example of a barbarian. You get those 475 blood shards. You're going to want to gamble probably bracers, because you have 2 potential outcomes: bracers of destruction, bracers of the first men. That'll give you these great multipliers on one of your skills. So bracers of the first men, for instance, will buff up your hammer of the ancients, which is a skill you get really early as a barbarian. So if you have these bracers, once you can equip them, then you're just going to be smashing everything hella hard, and it will be really great to keep you powerful as you move through your leveling process. If you even outgrow the usefulness of these items, you could potentially cube them later. It might give you a reason to go and grab your Kanai's cube, so that's something to keep in mind as well. So that is a great thing that can get you started. Some classes have better options than others. For instance, if you're a demon hunter, I feel like I'm ragging on demon hunters, I'm sorry, but they don't have a great option per se. Maybe the Hellcat Waistguard would be something to go for. It's not even shown on here, but you can also get Wraps of Clarity as a low-level gamble, and those can be great for just that huge damage reduction while you're leveling up. Not bad. And then cube that. So make sure you consider this. Again, a link to this will be in the video description. And if we then flip back over to our lovely handy-dandy guide, you'll notice that the next thing you'll do is, when you're in town, grab that follower weapon. So go over to your followers. If you're in a group, you can still access the followers. And, you know, if you're a melee class, grab a dagger from the Enchantress or that spear from the Templar. If you're range, you can go ahead and grab the crossbow from the Scoundrel. And it'll be better than whatever weapon your class originally comes with, just more DPS. If you're in solo play, you should also like hire a follower, because that'll help you out, and then grab something from a follower that you're not using. Then you're going to look for an easy bounty boss, usually in your game, and we can actually flip over to the game. Usually in your game, you're going to open up a game and see what you've got for bosses. Zoltan Cool is going to be one of the best ones to get, so ideally you'll open up a game on Master, have Zoltan Cool as a bounty boss, and you can walk right to him, go and get that kill. And what this does for you is get you some early levels and some early rare pieces of gear, so it kind of just helps you get equipped nice and fresh right away. And then you're on Master difficulty. You should still be able to survive enemies and such, so you're going to want to go to Halls of Agony 3, maybe Halls of Agony 2. Try to get some levels from, you know, the zombie skeletons, things you'll be killing in there. They shouldn't be too difficult, but as the difficulty maybe spikes, you can lower it down. If you're in softcore, if you're in hardcore, you might have to leave the game, turn it over to hard. In general, some of the strategies for hardcore, you might want to play it safe. Stay on hard. It's one of the most nice difficulties in terms of the ratio of monster health to the experience gotten from killing monsters, so keep that in mind. But generally, once you're getting to around level 10 or so, then you're going to go to the different acts and find these merchants, the fences. So here in Act 5, it's Ruthie the Fence. In Act 1, there's a fence merchant, so on and so forth. They're the ones that sell jewelry pieces. So I'm level 70 right now, so it's not going to show you exactly what you would be seeing. But that's basically what you're looking for, average damage on the primary. So if you get an amulet that's got that, you know, nice average damage range, same for a ring, and you want 2 of them, then that's going to help boost your damage up significantly as an early leveled character. So keep that in mind as something that you can look out for. You might get unlucky and not find them. If you do, great. If not, don't worry about it. At this point, one of the old strategies was actually to go and send like one of your faster characters in your group to story mode, to campaign, and have them grab, you know, a Leoric's crown or checkpoint to King Leoric, the Skeleton King, and then try to get the Leoric's crown. But we don't really do that anymore, because it's highly likely that as you're going through the game, whatever leveling method you choose, you'll potentially come across a Leoric's crown. So that's kind of slow and outdated now. It is something to maybe keep in mind, but I personally wouldn't recommend it. The next thing you're going to want to do once you have those jewelry pieces solidified is then go and either level up some more or do some bounties. Maybe once your group has leveled to the point where you have movement skills like Vault, Blood Rush, Sprint, whatever it might be for your class, then you can either together or split if you feel comfortable enough, go and do bounties in one act, maybe the act that you killed your bounty boss in, since you already have one of the bounties done. do that, and then you can actually right away pop open the Heraldric cache that you get from clearing out one full act of bounties. And the hope is that you'll get either the Kane's plan or the Born's plan, and both of these represent sets that can give you some extra experience when you have the set items equipped. If multiple people in your party get them, even better, because experience is averaged through the group. So that's something to keep in mind, another way to keep the experience rolling in faster. And usually that's going to be around the early 20s that you can equip those. Level 23, I believe, specifically for the Kane set. Once you're sort of assuming that you're doing that or not, then you're going to essentially just keep leveling up, and then at 40 is when the rest of some of the Challenge Rift cash rewards that we got early on come into play, because that's when you're going to go to your blacksmith, level them all the way up, and hopefully get some level reduction weapons. And we can swap back into the game here to showcase this, because this can have a major impact on you if you get a level 70 weapon that you can use earlier than level 70. So one of the main things that you're looking for when you make these weapons, and I recommend not using class weapons, and what I mean by that is like a mighty weapon or a bow or a scythe, any of those things that are particular to the class that you're playing. You don't want those because they come with extra secondaries, and the secondaries matter a lot, because this is how you're going to hopefully get a level reduction, since it is a secondary affix. The main thing you're looking for when you craft these level 70 weapons at Hadrig is a CC effect on the secondaries. You can see here on this mace, I have a 1.3% chance to knock back on hit, and on this one I don't have any CC effects. The results that you can get from the Mystic are staggering. So if I go here to re-roll this two-hander, and there's a CC effect, I'm going to re-roll the other secondary affix, which is Monster Kills Grant Experience. And you can see my options are very limited, right? No Max Fury as a Barbarian. Only Monster Kills Grant Experience, again, ignores durability loss and level requirement reduction. So this is great. This even came with the added benefit of having life per hit as a primary, which then takes life after each kill as a secondary out of the pool too. So this is like super duper ideal. So you would re-roll this a couple of times. You have to keep an eye on your gold as well. There's a ratio that it starts to get too expensive to re-roll it. You might go back to Hadrig and craft another weapon to potentially try to re-roll for a secondary if you don't have the level reduction yet. You're going to re-roll this and hope to get as close to 30 for the reduction as possible. Now you can see in the other example, again, we don't have, there's no actual life per hit, which is why you see life after each kill as a secondary on this one, and there's no CC, right? So if you look at our options, holy moly, look at all these CCs that we can get. So it just super dilutes the pool of potential outcomes. If we were to try to re-roll this one, it's very unlikely that we would get a good level reduction unless we got super lucky. So that's something to keep in mind, because this again can make a major impact. You can float through super high difficulty as a lower level character and just rake in the experience. So hope someone in your group gets lucky, or that you yourself get lucky and you can get that level reduction. And then again, like I said, pump it up to maybe Torment 1, Torment 2 and kill stuff. And then as it starts to get a little hard as you approach level 70, be sure to turn it down so that you can keep the killing going quickly. And that's really it. I mean, there are other potential things. If you are doing adventure mode, you run into a rainbow goblin, you've basically hit the lottery at that point, because you can go in there, get Imperial gems early on, so you get an Imperial Ruby, throw that in your helm for the experience, throw that in your weapon for increased damage. Those are things to keep in mind too. In general, you want rubies on your side, so as you find them, make sure you're going to Covetous Shen and crafting those up to better versions of themselves, so you can get more damage from a socket in your weapon as you're leveling, and also in your helm for the experience. And I guess also to keep in mind too is that if you feel like your damage is slowing down, you can always look to Hadrig to potentially craft a better weapon for whatever current level you're at. So say you're level 30 and you haven't gotten a good weapon since level 22 or something. If you've just been unlucky, then maybe you craft up a new weapon to get closer to your level and increase your power. I think that's pretty much it, guys. There's not too much else to discuss. Hopefully this was helpful. I wanted to just have a place where all of the leveling strategies and tips and tricks were brought together. If you have more tips or other nuanced strategies, things like that, I would love for you to share them in the comments so that everybody that comes by the video can benefit from seeing them. We can discuss further which tips or strategies you might go with on opening night. And in general, I hope to see you again on this channel. We're going to have, like I said, way more videos coming out as the week leads up to the beginning of Season 14 on Friday. And we'll be doing a 24-hour stream to kick off the season. So you definitely want to check out my stream, twitch.tv/Leviathan111. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out for now, everybody.